All right, guys, we are making progress week after week. We're at the halfway point now of this IDW marathon. We are in books 9 and 10. We're going to be focused on some Mutanimals, a Dimension X story, and our buddies the Ghostbusters return at the endgame. So, Christian, we're back with our good friend TMNT Talk. Dude, I know you're hyped. Let's just get right into it, man. Let's not keep the people waiting. We've been doing this for about over a month. We've got Slash on the cover of this book. The Mutanimals are going to be very impactful in these next two issues. I believe we start with issue 67. So whenever you're ready, my dude, take it away.
Yeah, and we jump right into it with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 67. Here, the story starts with Slash, and Bishop is able to attack him. He gets the jump on him and is able to get Slash and uses some technology to control him. So Bishop is like remote controlling Slash now. Meanwhile, the Turtles, they are not sure what to do. Now they are completely out of the Foot Clan. But then at the Mutanimals headquarters, Slash appears and everybody's like, hey, cool, Slash is back. But they don't know that he is controlled. And so it gets really wild because Slash then attacks the Mutanimals, like rips off Mondo's tail, smashes Mutagen Man's body in, and tears off Herman's left claw. So it's mayhem. And only Old Hob in the end is able to escape this attack. And yeah, once again, we're off to wonder, where is this going?
Yeah, they just do such a good job. And again, it's like those evil Green Ranger eyes. Again, it's like, I do like when they do that to characters when they're possessed. You know, they do it in cartoons, they do it in movies. Do you like that extra vibe they give when they have the eye colors change?
Yeah, it's like because it's a little subtle here because you don't see it right off. I mean, as a reader, you know, yeah, something is off here, and you're like there, like starting to scream at the page, dude, he's controlled. And but then it gets wild, and you see really he looks like, as you say, he looks possessed, and it's really that's a dark vibe there.
Yeah, especially when it comes to, with Hob and everybody. So feel free to break us into the next one here.
Yeah, this leads us straight into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 68, where Old Hop goes to the Turtles there for their help. Because the Mutanimals, they are captured and they are kept at EPF headquarters. Mondo, he's a gecko, so Mondo's tail grows back and Herman gets a prosthetic new claw. Man Ray is actually able to free himself and he attacks Bishop and gives him a good fight, but in the end he gets captured again. But during all this, because it was more or less like a distraction, Sally and Mondo, they were able to sneak out and be able to escape. So the Turtles, to find out what's really going on, go to the Mutanimals headquarters with Old Hop, but they realize too late that the building is surrounded by soldiers. And once again, with this cliffhanger, this comic ends.
I mean, this is just, at least for now, this has just been, I just want to say real quick, isn't this kind of smooth reading, just how it keeps you going, right? It's like, you get a little obsessed because you got to wait, but it's just so smooth. And they know when to pick their stopping points, too. Like we've seen, it's like, we're in the main story now, and then it's like, all right, well, we'll go back and we'll do a micro series, or we'll take you somewhere else. But just, has this always been a smooth read for you since, I guess, book one?
Oh, absolutely, because it just flows so well. Like, yeah, as we said before, there are like story arcs, like three, four comics. There are one story, but they always go with the cliffhanger endings. Like you always, I want come on, one more book. You're like, when you binge watching something, like one more episode. And with the IDW comics, it's the same. Like, okay, I'm gonna read one more book because I just can't stop now. I want to know what's happening next, and it just flows so well. All the stories into all these comics into the next one, and yeah, that's no complaining here. And I gotta say, for me, to this day, it's still the same. Yeah, because up to date with the comics, and I can say they don't stop. They've got the flow going.
That's good to hear. And these books here, in video game land, we talk about replay value. We enjoyed Mario Brothers 3 because of the replay value. We keep going back. A lot of current games, could be because we've gotten older, they don't have the same replay value. But these comics, I'm sure for you at least they do. And for me, I'll definitely be back rereading these when we're done with Shellonomics here. But feel free to pop in for the next one. And this is also called, I believe, the Desperate Measures. Like, I don't know if they call it a micro series, but it's a 4-parter we're breaking down right now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It's like, as I said, it's like the story arc in these four
Yeah.
comics. So yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 69. Here we see Bishop visiting his senile father at a senior living center. And his father was actually the one who founded the Earth Protection Force. So the Turtles and Oathop, they get into a fight with the Earth Protection Force and the Dark Water soldiers. And then Slash, who is controlled by Bishop, also comes in. But then Sally saves them with a vehicle she took from the EPF headquarters. And so, okay, Turtles and Hop, they're out of they're fine now. But Hop now has a plan, and he goes to Bishop's father to kidnap him and use him against Agent Bishop. And dude, gotta say, this is like really the moment when old Hop got Bishop's old man at gunpoint, and the old man is like, the monsters, they found me. And like, you see old Hop there, and like, whoa. I mean, it's like, yeah, old Hop, as I said before, it's like really not a bad character. He's like this gray character. He does what he needs to do to protect his people. And yeah, he does everything he has to do. And yeah, that's, I guess that's why we think that he's just such an interesting character here.
And now, coming up next is, now if I, I am not a father, but if I was a father and they were reading this book 70 and they say, oh bleep, I'll just give them a little watch it, because this is some crazy shock value, just how sadistic one of these characters is in this one, dude. I did not see this coming. After you break this one down, I want to hear your thoughts if you saw this coming. What happens to some Bishop's father here in issue 70?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, issue number 70. There's a lot going on, man. So, the Turtles, the Mutanimals, and the EPF meet at the destroyed stock chain. So, Old Hop has Bishop's father and Colonel Knight's wife, Colonel Knight, the guy from Darkwater, his wife, as hostages. And he just wants the still captured Mutanimals back. So Lindsay, Herman, and Mutagen are given back to Old Hop. But Bishop is still controlling Slash, and he's not giving him up. So Old Hop has Bishop's father at gunpoint, but Bishop doesn't care, and is like this is the moment. Like Bishop is like, yeah, I lost my father a long time ago, and he's just like an empty shell now, and he doesn't care. And lets Slash stomp on the old man and kill him, like really brutal. Then Hop attacks Bishop and claws at his face, revealing some kind of robotic body underneath. Like, ooh, there's more behind Bishop, and you know how much I love Bishop. So after all this, the Turtles and the Mutanimals escape, and so they're together again. Slash still under the control of Bishop, but the Turtles and the Mutanimals, they are safe for now. But yeah, this moment really, as I said, this is really a shocker. This was really like, okay, Bishop really is this sociopath who doesn't care about anyone but his mission. And it's like, wow, that, as you said, I did not see this coming, because when he visits his father at the senior center, really get a feeling like he cares about him. But when he has to do it, he, nobody is important to him. Only his mission to destroy everyone who could be a problem for the humans. And yeah, he even sacrificed his own father in a very brutal and bloody way. And yeah, really, that was. I did not see this coming, and I was really shocked when I saw this. Like, wow, Slash killed someone in such a horrible way, but it wasn't really him. But yeah, it's really whoa. Gotta get through this, man. It's like whoa, wild stuff.
And just again, a tip of the cap to the writers of this series, because for me, this is totally okay. We're in a fantasy world here. It's okay to have heartless, despicable, sadistic villains. Not everybody has to have a sob story in the back, like a Magneto or a Hob. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know Bishop's backstory yet, but I'm okay with having Bishops and Shredders of the world in comics. How about you?
Oh yeah, it's like how I said, it's horrible to say this,
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm a fan of Bishop. I really like, as you said, I think when a character has a background story and he's got a reason that turned him into this creature, to make him evil, but you really understand it in a way. But with Bishop here, it's like, no way, no way. This is like, but sometimes it's kind of refreshing to just have an evil sociopath character that's like, wow, I think you're really horrible, but on the other hand, you're really interesting. And yes, it's like, it's like with the Joker. The Joker is such an interesting character, but he's so horrible. But because of that, we love him even more.
Yes.
I don't know. It's really bad.
One of the biggest, arguably the most popular DC or villain of all time. So I hear you on that one, dude. Yeah, I hope as we continue these books, I hope they keeps this way. But first, we got a little a bump in the road. You know, out here in Illinois, we got a lot of speed bumps on the smooth street we're cruising on. It's a boom, like what is this? So we talked about this last week. We'll probably talk about it more when we get into other books. But for now, we have a quick not quick, because again, there are people who may enjoy this. And feel free to get into this two-parter by Sophie Campbell, if I'm saying that name correctly, because I've been told she has a big role in this series as we progress into further books. But feel free to break down this next two with a whole bunch of toads.
Yeah, TMNT Universe number 9 and number 10, they were, if I remember correctly, they were written by Sophie Campbell, but the art was done by someone else whose name I can't remember. I'm sorry. Anyway, so TMNT Universe number 9. It's a story about Alopex and Angel, what they are up to. And they are currently in Northampton. And as they take a rowboat on a lake, they suddenly get attacked by a giant toad. And suddenly, mysteriously, they land in the den of Toad Baron, a big toad man who is also part of the Pantheon. And it's all a big party with strange creatures and a lot to eat. And first, Alopex and Angel, they really enjoy it. They get mesmerized by this, but then they snap out of it and want to find a way back home. But Toad Baron tells them this party goes on forever and you cannot leave. So Angel and Alopex, they have to come up with a plan, and they're like, oh yeah, this party, it's not that good. And they start saying that the party is boring. So Toad Baron is like this character. He always wants to have fun. He always wants to party, and he wants to enjoy people to enjoy themselves. So he's like, "What do you want? What do you want?" And so he brings out some weapons, which Alopex and Angel use to cause chaos and trash the place until Toad Baron is fed up with them, and he sends them back to the real world. But an Angel discovers that the nobody armor she was wearing was keeping track of their whereabouts, and they might find a way back to this place if they have to, which will come back to us very soon. And one thing I gotta say here is this: the whole thing, in my opinion, the whole thing with all the strange creatures and so many weird characters and all, it reminded me of a Studio Ghibli movie, like like a Spirited Away or something like this. It reminded me of this, and it was nice to see what Ancient Alopex are up to, and yeah. On the other hand, it was really weird and really strange, and yeah, nice little. It's a side story, gotta say.
Yeah. So, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not sure who did the art. I tried pulling it up here on our Shellonomics episode here on YouTube and Spotify. I believe it says artist, writer was Bram Ravel, and another artist. Looks like
that
was
sounds right.
Pablo Tunica. Again, I apologize if I'm botching these. And it says Sophie was more on the cover and writer. So The art really just, I'm not a fan. Angel, to me, I've been crushing on this girl since the beginning, and it's like, it's like when your girl, she gets her hair, bleached or something, or dyes it a different color, and it's like, girl, you were beautiful the way you were. What happened? Like, oh, she looked like a grandma to me in here. That's just how I feel. No disrespect to anybody, but we got to be honest here. It's okay to be vulnerable. Oh my gosh, and these are two I could have probably skipped. Creepy ass Toad. Why not get the Punk Frogs in? Maybe they'll come later. We're hoping for an old Toon fan here, but they tried throwing the Rat King in there, a couple others, but thankfully, Christian, we don't have to sit here and cry too much, because the next issue's coming up, and we get one of my favorite dudes from the Archie comics to come right back. So fear not, Turtle fans. The good vibes are back super quick. Feel free to take it away with issue 71, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much TMNT number 71 and 72 are pretty much a two-parter again. Because we see that at Toad Baron's place, all the members of the Pantheon come together for the once a century get-together. So we finally see all the members of the Pantheon. We see Akka, Manmoth, Gothano, Rat King, Jaguar, Kitsune, and Toad Baron. And
say it again, Jaguar. Say it again. I just like that name.
Jaguar.
Thank you.
Yeah, and only Chiyu is missing because, he's lost between time and space. And well, the Pantheon, they talk about all the things that they have been up to and the game for control of the world. And Kitsune then reveals that her big master plan, which also involved Shredder, is to bring back their father, the dragon. But then the Pantheon realizes that the turtles are actually hiding at their place using the invisibility cloaks from the street phantoms. And like, uh-oh. So we then get a little flashback where we find out that the turtles, with April's help, have been working with Stockman to find out more about the Pantheon. And they need Baxter's help to get out again with the teleporter after they sneak in with the help from Angel, from the little story that we had before. And in the present time, the turtles, they are trying to escape from these demigods of the Pantheon. And as they fight one by one, they get teleported to safety. It's like really madness as they get hunted by these, seemingly immortal beings. But then Mikey is the last one who is left behind because his transponder was broken. And in the last minute, Leonardo teleports in again, grabs Mikey, and they escape. And from everything they found out, the turtles hope to be ready for the Pantheon for the next time. So that's like the little Pantheon party two-parter here.
It was so cool seeing Jaguar. Angel's back to being a cutie pie. Just a false alarm for me over here. She's back. Interesting story right there. Very cool. But coming up, you see the name Stan Sakai, and us old school fans know what that is. He did the art. He did the story. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know a bunny's nearby when you hear the name Stan Sakai. I really enjoyed reading this, even though I had no idea what the hell was going on, but feel free to break it down as best you can.
Yeah, because we get a little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo crossover story, and I'm always up for them. So this is called Namazu, or the Big Fish story. So here we see in Usagi's world, he meets a Kakera, an old mystic rat, and he needs Usagi's help and the help of others. So through magic, he transports the turtles to this world. And after some confusion, because Usagi knows the turtles, but not these turtles, so it was very interesting, then Kakera explains what he needs their help for. Because there's a myth that beneath Japan, a giant fish is living, causing earthquakes under the earth crust. So the fish is pinned under a giant rock, but a little piece of it was broken off and the fish might come free, causing chaos. So Kakera has that piece and wants to reunite it with the big rock, but he needs Usagi and the turtles for protection. Because then the team runs into the evil Jay and his men. Jay was like this wolf guy. He wants the destruction of Japan. So the Turtles and Usagi fight him, and in the end, Kakera is successful and Jay is defeated, and the Turtles get transported back to their world. And yeah, that's the end of that little special. And hey, you know me, I'm all for it. I'm all for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo crossover story anytime.
Crazy to follow, but how'd you like the artwork? I had a feeling, a little bit of like a chibi kind of type thing there. That's my kind of artwork. I like that stuff.
Yeah, that's Stan Sakai style. I really enjoy it. As you say, it gets really there's a lot of action in there, but it's never over uh, hard or anything. It still feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, but a really cool one.
Yeah, exactly. And coming up next, we've got our. You guys know I like my wrestling here. We've got like an NWO Wolfpack kind of coming to town with these universe issues coming up.
Yeah, and another Archie Comics name dropping in. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe number 11. Here we see that Sally and Man Ray, they are driving through New Jersey because they heard about a creature called the Jersey Devil. And they find him, and he turns out to be a jackal mutant created by Null named Dreadmon. Then the Gang of four cybernetic mercenaries who can mutate at will into wolf creatures, thanks to some tanks on their backs, appear and they want to bring Dreadmon back to Null. So Ray and Sally, they help Dreadmon escape, but he actually doesn't want to join the Mutanimals. He just wants to be free, and so Sally and Ray, they leave him and he runs off into the wilderness to, yeah, just to be free. And well, oh, that was really nice. And hey, come on, we got Dreadmon here, and we got the Gang of Four, a new interpretation of the Gang of Four that we remember from the Archie comics. So, a very Archie feeling issue here, I gotta say.
And
And yeah, really cool.
couple issues before that, we had our buddy Jaguar come back. So just
Yeah.
it's like you said earlier, Christian. They just know how to pick and choose the timing for these characters, and they all get a nice little glimpse of the spotlight. At least for now, it's not like, oh, hey, there's Jaguar, and wait, now there's Leatherhead and Ray Fillet. It's like, no, they all get their own little pace, and I've really enjoyed the tone so far with these. So feel free to take us into the next one.
So that leads us into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe number 12, which is the start of where we're going to find out what's up with Karai, because Karai is in Japan. And there she runs into a woman named Natsu, who, pretty much more by accident, shoots her in the arm. And Karai's old teacher, Toshiro, takes care of her, and he also helps Koya and Bludgeon to work with their disabilities after the last fight with the turtles. Like, Koya can't fly anymore, Bludgeon is blind. So Karai then confronts Toro, the father of Natsu, and who is a crime lord in Japan. And he actually proposes some like a treaty for Karai. Like, he wants to work with Karai, but at first she's not interested. Which, yeah, and he's like, okay, then you have to fight, and he brings his man in, and that's where issue number 12 of TMNT Universe ends, and the first part of that story.
I like the name of this too, Karai's Path, because they've done. We haven't really talked about the Foot Clan this entire book so far up to here. We've had Alopex, but no really talk of Foot Clan. So it's nice to get a little breath of fresh air, because as we know, there's so much depth to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we're gonna get into more new characters in book 10. But let's keep it up on this Karai's Path here.
Yeah, so in issue number 13 of TMT Universe, Toro tells Karai that there is a gang war going on in Japan, and he wants to stop it with Karai's help. And for this, she should bring him a magical sword that Takeshi Tatsuyo, the founder of the Foot Clan, hid somewhere in Japan. And well, this now piques Karai's interest. So Karai decides to go looking for the sword with Koya and Bludgeon. Through meditation, a dragon appears to Karai and tells her where to look. and they find a hidden cave in the woods and enter only to suddenly be surrounded by zombies. And yeah, they know how to do these cliffhanger endings here, you know.
Yeah, we came. I'll let you. If you need a swig of water, feel free to take a quick swig and get right back into it.
Well, this leads us straight into TMNT Universe number 14, where these magical zombie creatures, they actually cannot attack on their own. They only can attack when they get attacked first. So they mock Karai, Koya, and Bludgeon into attacking them. And after a while, Koya is the one who snaps and a fight starts. Karai and her team escape into a chamber where the sword is also, but it is guarded by a giant mole creature named Ocho. Ocho was a woman who was cursed by none other than Kitsune into this appearance and to guard the sword until someone worth it can give it back to where it belongs. They fight and Karai is able to overcome Ocho and grab the sword called Kira no Ken. And Koya also finds a little talisman for herself, which is gonna be very interesting later on.
Exactly. And so for our final issue, while you break it down, they just do it again here. The final word in this last book that Christian's going to break down in book 9, vengeance. God, does that hit hard?
Ooh, that was good. Oh, little goosebumps here. Yeah. TMNT Universe number 15 is the end of Karai's Path, where Ocho becomes Karai's underling. It's like, okay, I have to work now for you because you control the sword. So the team comes out of the cave and they find a lot of dead men who Toro sent after Karai to finish her off. But Toshiro and Natsu, who turned her back on her father because she thinks he is unhonorable, came to their help and stopped them. So now Karai and her team infiltrate Toro's headquarters. Karai goes after Toro and kills him after taking over all his assets. And she now wants to take control of the underworld in Tokyo. And when she's done with that, she thinks that she's ready to return to New York. And yeah, that's gonna be interesting, you know it.
Oof. So final takeaways here from book 9. It looks like they went Archie heavy with some stuff here, which I enjoyed. A couple things, like I said, was a little bit put back, but they got back on the right track. Just a little speed bump for me. Big shocker, though, again. What's the biggest takeaway from this book? For me, it's Bishop killing his dad. I don't know how you can top that. That's probably one of the biggest. Well, Splinter killing somebody was a big shocker, too. But now it's like, How do they take it one step further? Let's have a character kill his own dad. Why not?
Yeah, and I would say the most horrible thing about it is that he didn't even do it himself. He sent a good creature, Slash, in to kill for him. And you just gotta think that Slash here, he's being controlled and he cannot act on his own, but it does not mean that he does not see what he's doing. And that makes it even more horrible. So yeah, that's like really, really, really horrible. And also there's the story with the Pantheon, because I think the Pantheon is such an interesting concept in the TMNT universe here. That was also so cool to finally get all these characters, all these mysterious characters together to finally see the complete Pantheon. So yeah, once again, just a lot of story, a lot of world building, and it just keeps on going.
Got that right. And book 10's probably one of my. It has a little splash of 1987 Turtles, and it's season 1 Turtles. What I mean by that is this book's just fun to read. This is one of the more, not lighthearted because there's still good action, but it's just not as, for me at least, it's not as just like, oh my god, like jaw dropping, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit more fun. We get some characters, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen that little thing before. It kind of looks like something, and it is. It's always nice, it's cool. It's really more fun when you guess wrong because it's more shock value, but when you get a little hunch and it's like, I think I know where this is going, and you're correct, I love that. So feel free to get us in here with 2 of our buddies who are Are they boyfriend, girlfriend? I don't know, but they're starting this book off here, Christian.
I just realized we forgot the final story in book 9, the
Oh
backup
shoot!
story.
Oh yes,
The story Bray with Koya. But
yes,
that's a quick one.
yes.
A
Feel
quick
free
one,
to.
but
Thank
an
you. Yep,
important one.
yes. No, feel free to
Because
break it in. Yes.
remember, yeah. Remember when Koya found the talisman, and the story is about what she finds out what it is good for, and because she wants to get revenge on Leonardo and the other turtles for what they did to her, and somehow this talisman seems to give off some kind of strange energy, which causes Koya to attack Bludgeon. But then Ocho comes in and knocks Koya down, and the spirit in the talisman mocks her. But Koya fights back and is able to control this energy, which give her spectral wings. And now she can finally fly again, and she's ready to get her revenge. So, yeah, that's that now out of the way. So Koya is back back in the seat. But now let's get into IDW collection number 10, starting with a two-parter here with TMNT Universe number 19 and number 20, where which is a Raphael and Elopek story. And yeah, it's they're not boyfriend girlfriend now, but they're like, that they like each other. So some animal in the story, we see that some animals were stolen from pet shops, and Rev and Alopex, they investigate this whole story. They find out that Null is behind this as they see Sodi, the scorpion mutant, unloading the animals. And they sneak into this building, which is a big laboratory where more mutants should be created. They fight Sodi and some homunculus, which are artificial humans, and then suddenly a big snake mutant comes in. So Rev and Alopex fight Sodi and Krissa, the snake. But Krissa is different. Sodi, she loves to fight, she loves to kill, but Krissa doesn't want others to get hurt. So with Krissa's help, Alopex and Raphael escape with the stolen animals. Then in the end, Null confronts Sodi and Krissa, but Sodi takes all the blame because she still thinks that Krissa has potential to be a killer. And Null apparently gets ready for the next phase of her plan, whatever that will be. So yeah, that's the end of that little story.
It's always nice, when you see the badass get put in place by the lady, because Alo owns Raph in those two parts, man. She shuts him up. So I had a good time reading those, especially great fighting. For me, it's a breath of fresh air. I do like I was thinking of asking, I nixed it though, who you like better, Mona Lisa, Alo, or even, Ninjara for Raph, because it's nice to see Raph's got a lady in a submission. I like that. That shows that he still is a guy who cares. He's not heartless. So it was fun reading those, but number 20, it's back to business as usual with Raph and Casey getting back together again.
Yeah, we got a little backup story here called Through Red Eyes, where we see after a patrol with Casey, Raphael comes home, but he can't sleep because Mikey is playing video games. So we find out that Raphael lately had problems sleeping because of pretty much everything that was going on with the foot, the bishop, Pantheon, and so on and so forth. So it's nice, Mikey and Raph, they have a little talk. And then Mikey is ready to go to bed, and so does Raph. But Raphael can't sleep again because now he hears Donatello working on something in his lab, and it's like whoop whoop. So yeah, but I just like the interaction between Raph and Mikey in this little story. It's
Always Christian. He had the high
moments.
Score. Can you imagine if your wife or your son or somebody did that to you? It's like, what are you doing? Hours and hours. Especially because I do speed runs for you've seen for Sega Genesis and Nintendo, and so sometimes it's like bowling. You're in the rhythm. You got the flow, and for someone to just pull the plug, oof, that was like, damn you, Raph. Very mean, very mean. But coming up next, I always like these annuals. It's a great way for new fans who have missed out on all the other books to kind of get caught up. Don't you agree with this annual coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. This Prelude to Dimension X, it is called, that came out on Free Comic Book Day in 2017. So yeah, as you said, it's a nice little way to catch up because after some training in the sewers, the turtles meet Fugitoid, and the turtles remember the main plot points that happened lately. But Fugitoid tells the turtles that for Crank's trial in Dimension X, he must find 5 key witnesses to testify against Krang. But suddenly they get attacked by a tentacled cyborg bounty hunter named Hek-Ar. Hek-Ar works for Krang, and he's able to download all the information that he has from the Fugitoid, and then he teleports away. And so this guy will now go after these 5 witnesses. So the turtles then promise to help the Fugitoid, and they plan to go to Dimension X together. So that's a start for a big story.
This is one of my I had so much fun reading these ones coming up, especially now before you break issue 73. When you're talking Turtles and Star Wars, who else besides Mikey McCall, Chewbacca? Oh my! I just love the writing in here, man. They just do it so good.
Yeah, like if you say it like that, the first thing that came into the mind, if you remember in the 2003 show when the turtles they were at the start of season 2, they were at this cantina and they saw like this Han Solo Chewbacca lookalikes, and they were like, "No, we're gonna find someone else." That was I
Yes,
love
that's
this moment as a Star
yes.
Wars fan.
It's always nice when you throw. I love little parodies like that. They're so much fun. That's why we and you both enjoyed Chrome
Oh
Alone too,
yeah.
because of all the crazy parodies in that Christmas episode we saw not too long ago in theaters.
Oh, that was so great.
Oh yeah, here we go. We're getting closer and closer to this crazy Dimension X chaos story.
Here, starting with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 73, which, by the way, they advertised this with now this is the longest running TMNT series ever, because before that it was TMNT Adventures which ran for 72 issues, and this is issue number 73. So congratulations, IDW.
Yes.
So, yeah, the story starts with Krang, who is imprisoned in Smada on Neutrino in Dimension X. And he tells Hek-Ar to use everything he knows to find the witnesses and stop them from talking. So the turtles arrive in Dimension X and meet the neutrinos and, to their surprise, Leatherhead, who is also here to testify against Krang. So Hek-Ar reappears and kills the lawyer named Appa on the prosecution team. So the turtles fight him, but he escapes. Honeycutt must now take Appa's place as the turtles, Zack, and Kala, the neutrinos, fly off to find the witnesses, which brings us then into the Dimension X miniseries.
Oh man, dude, how cool is to see that Star Cruiser at the end of that issue too, right there, man.
Oh yeah, it's like the same with that they did with the neutrinos. They just updated. They keep the characters, but they update and made them cooler. The same here with the Star Cruiser. It's just so cool. It's like it looks like a flying car, but it's a spaceship. So uh, what's not to love about it?
Yeah, and just for a guy here who grew up with the '87 show and 2003 show, you had a couple deaths. 2012, the big shocker with Splinter. There's a lot of death in these books. If it ain't a main character, it's sub characters. And again, everybody was shocked. Like, what have you done, Leatherhead? So they just time the killings right too. It's not just a gory Mortal Kombat. We love Mortal Kombat, but you know what I mean. Just die, everybody die. Heads are rolling and all that. So again, they just like we said before, they pick and choose their spots. Feel free to go at whatever pace you want for this Dimension X story, because I know there's a lot to digest. I do want to point out one funny thing for us old, well, I guess young at heart fans, we can say, in this book. Just little cool things, again, with these little plugs. There's a spot in the book where they're talking, and Leo's like, follow, and the next character writes the bouncing ball. Now, I know that's from the good old Disney sing-along tapes, because that's what they always said when we were watching those Disney tapes, follow the bouncing ball. So again, just little Easter eggs, not even in the Turtle universe that they break down here. And when you have that in this book, you know it's just going to be a fun ride, man. So enjoy the ride. Feel free to, get us ready for it.
So yeah, we start with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Dimension X number 1, where we see that the turtles on different planets, the turtles, they run into a little blob creature named Bean Go, who is the first witness. And Bean Go's people have been enslaved by Krang, and he used their empathic powers to interrogate prisoners of war. Then Hacker appears and he tells Bean Go that he is the good guy, but the turtles come in and save the little guy and, well, beat up Hacker for now. And Bean Go is like, okay, and I see that you are the good guys. And then he goes with the turtles. So the turtles like, okay, now we've got our first witness. And that's pretty much the way that these issues go. Like each issue is about one of the witnesses. Turtles going to a planet, finding a witness. And so, yeah, but that was the first issue of that little story.
Mikey with his happy. Mikey's pretty much, he reminds me of, well, actually, I didn't, because this came, I think, yeah, this did come out. Oh, actually, I'm not sure of like the official year, but I know he's almost like fangirling. Like he's taking pictures. He's all hyped up. He reminds me of the Michelangelo and the Turtles vs. Batman Adventures movie. And I love his joy. I love his passion. Coming up in issue 2, we have someone who looks like MODOK. And real quick, guys, I'll do a quick little plug for our buddy so he doesn't have to. If you guys ever hang out in Christian's channels on Instagram and whatnot, he does have a Discord, and we were talking about this because we think Raphael is a Limp Bizkit fan in this book here.
Yeah, that was because here in TMNT Dimension X number 2, the turtles, they're on another planet and they meet an alien named Anemon, and who's like this sumo wrestler guy. And he was also used by Krang as a soldier, but Krang destroyed his home planet and Anemon was blinded. Then he landed on his planet and met an eyeball creature named Imo, who fused with him and gave him the ability to see again. But Anemon actually doesn't want to testify against Krang. But since Anemon is a noble warrior, the turtles bet that that he cannot defeat each one of them. But if he does, they leave him alone. So Anemon defeats Raphael and Mikey, but Leonardo tricks him and he's able to defeat him. And now, as he's, as I said, noble warrior, stays to his word, he agrees to come with the turtles. And so that was the second witness here. And the turtles, they just keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
I love that spot so good. I was like, why not? And that was a very popular song. You know, it was played on the radio for days. The Undertaker had that as his theme song when he was the American Badass. So, it was nice seeing that. And I had a little plug for my buddy here. His name was Roman. So in high school, we used to always jam and call to keep Roman anytime we saw him. So we had fun with that song. Oh, yeah. So fun for days. Now, he didn't look like Cuddly Cowlick at the end of that book, but I was like, it kind of looked familiar. Are we going to get some people that we know from the Archie series? And I believe we can dig it. Yeah! We're going back to wrestling, guys, in issue 3. Oh, these were so much fun for me to read, dude. So much fun.
Oh, yeah. Issue number 3. I totally knew that this issue is just for you, man. So, yeah, the turtles, they arrive at Stump Asteroid. Stump and Sling, the two promoters of Stump Asteroid, they are also not interested in testifying against Krang. So the turtles, they take part in wrestling, Crying Hound and Anthrax. And then Hacker teleports in and the turtles and wrestlers have to team up to fight him off, which they do. The crowd goes wild and the turtles escape with Stump and Crying Hound for Krang's trial. And so, yeah, that was issue number 3. And come on, just all these characters appearing here. We've got Stump, we've got Sling, Crying Hound, Anthrax. And it's like, come on, this is just for the old school fans. And I'm just so thankful for this.
It was nice seeing Anthrax. I was like, wait a second. It used to be Leatherhead and Ace-Duck. And I'm sure you're the same as me. It's like, you know, maybe we'll see Ace-Duck, maybe not. We figure he's got to be somewhere in this. But Houndomania, I mean, and just, I really love, it happens in issue 4 again too, but, you know, because with the whole wrestling's not fake and it being scripted. And Mikey with that childlike innocence. How do you know he's going to lose? I was bawling my eyes out laughing because he keeps saying that. And the promoter's like, no, you guys can't win. You guys are pretty much jobbers. Nobody knows who you are. You ruined Goldberg's streak pretty much. And he's like, there go our ratings. There goes our whole promotion. So I'm just having so much fun. Feel free to pop in number 4 with some really very cool, I brag when I like and I say no when I don't like, but I really enjoy the futuristic cool artwork in issue 4 we're about to break down.
Yeah, because this is now on the planet called Belmadice, where they are looking for the next witness, who is Ace Duck. Oh, yeah. And Ace is hunted by a bounty hunter as he then runs into the turtles. And we find out that Ace was a fighter pilot allied with the neutrinos against Krang. But Ace's team was killed and only he survived. So the Turtles and Ace, they team up against Hacker and some bounty hunters who go after Ace. And the Turtles and Ace Duck in the end are able to escape the planet together. So yeah, once again, another very famous name in the TMNT multiverse is back. We've got Ace Duck and he could not be cooler.
It's almost like I don't know if I want to call him an anti-hero, but you don't know where he's going because as we get into this next issue, it's like, wait, is he good? Is he bad? Like, what's up with this dude?
Yeah, it's like as you said, he's like a little more gray character. He's not bad, but he is running with some bad people and got some bad problems in the underground. But yeah, as you said, the city and everything that was just so cool. Reminded me a little bit of the future level Neo Knight Riders from Turtles in Time.
Yes. Good call. Good call.
So yeah, I guess we can go into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Dimension X number 5, the final issue of that miniseries, where the Turtles on the planet Totus, well, not the Turtles, but Hacker is actually looking for the final witness. It starts with him, which is Okuli, a plant creature that has like a hive mind and surrounds the whole planet. So Hacker is like, okay, then I'm gonna destroy the whole vegetation of the planet. And then the turtles arrive and find out that Krang used this planet to test chemical weapons and destroyed the environment. And that created mutations like a plant creature called Boli, who is no longer connected to the hive and is an outsider. So the turtles like, okay, we can take with us, and they take Boli with them, and they fly off the planet together. So now Turtles have all 5 witnesses with them for the big final trial for Krang.
Dude, we got a 2-parter coming up. We think Ace Duck and Leatherhead are bros, which I like, even though they were opponents in the old. I enjoy that part coming up. And we definitely got a wild one back to back where we got some dinos back in town too.
Oh boy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 74 and 75. There's so much going on here. So the story here, it starts with a big space battle as the Turtles and the Neutrinos, when they're flying back to the planet, Neutrino get attacked by the Malignoid Swarm. They get through this with the help of Triceraton troops. And then the trial of Krang finally begins. One after another, the witnesses are interrogated. Bingo, Anemone, Imo, and Stump each tell the story of all the horrible things Krang has done. But Krang's defense is too good and they can't win. Then the Fugitoid, in a surprise, calls in Leatherhead. But then the Malignoid Swarm attacks Smarter, and the Neutrinos and the Turtles have to fight them. So, and meanwhile, while all this craziness is going on, the judge gets attacked by Hacker and he kills him. It's like, come on, not again. So, Maligna is here and she attacks the planet Neutrino. Big space battle with the Triceratons, Neutrinos, Ace Duck, and the others. And on the planet, Hacker attacks again, and Donatello and the others have to fight him off again. But then the Malignoids come in and attack the city. So Donatello and the others form a plan to stop Maligna. Stump actually is able to strike a deal with Hacker so that he works for him for double the money that Krang promised him. And so he teleports onto Maligna's ship and unleashes the hallucinogenic pollens that Boli creates into the ventilation system. This causes Maligna to panic, and she withdraws her army. So that is over. Maligna is defeated for now. Finally, this crazy space adventure is over, but the next day, the trial of Krang finally resumes. Leatherhead testifies, but once again, Krang's defendant tells that Krang wasn't really responsible for the horrible things that happened to him. And in the end, after all this is over, it is stated that Krang did everything just for the survival of his own species. It's like he had no other choice. So the verdict is that Krang will be imprisoned for life on Burno Island. But Leatherhead cannot accept that. And he jumps in and with one big jump eats Krang and escapes through a portal back to Earth. So that's pretty much the end of Krang. The neutrinos promised, by the way, promised the Triceratons that they will finally have a home for themselves because they helped the neutrinos, and for this, the Triceratons were promised a new world for themselves that they can now finally live free because they were just soldiers for the Utroms before. And they will brought back to the world of origin where they can live freely, and that is actually Earth, because remember they were created pretty much by the Utroms as mutants of Triceratops. So like, okay, we can go back to Earth and live freely there, and that's definitely not gonna be a problem or anything in the future. And so on Earth, the EPF gets a warning that the Triceraton fleet will arrive very soon. So yeah, they leave us with this wonderful moment that's definitely not going to be a big problem in, well, the next book.
God, every single book, it's almost like we're getting one dramatic death per collection, which is good because, again, it's not overdoing it. Did you see that coming with Leatherhead?
Oh, no.
Same here.
That was, as you say, they have like one big shocker in every issue. And this was like, okay, so yeah, they're going to imprison Krang and he's going to stay there. And but, you know, he's going to come back. And then Leatherhead jumps in with one big bite and is like, okay, guess Krang does not come back. And wow, yeah, once again, this was like, wow, they know how to do this twist. They know exactly what to do to give us these big shockers. And for this, I just love them. I love the guys, the writers behind the story. And well, yeah, no, I did not see that it would end this way.
Just imagine just watching this in a movie. And then seeing it,
man.
You have the music, and then Leatherhead just darts. Because, I mean, that's pretty much what it is here. It's like, whoa, just, it's so instantaneous. I mean, it's a gator chomp. So there's no, like, what I really enjoy, there's no hesitating, there's no thinking, there's no any last words. He just goes for it. So it was really such a holy mother of just, my goodness, dude. So we still have a little bit more here before we're done with this book, but, dude, Shredder and Krang are gone. That's it, right? They're done. Yeah. And we still got 4 more books to go. Well, 8 books, but, 4 more podcasts. For a guy like me who has never read these, I'm excited. I guess what I can ask you, if you can, without spoiling anything, because if you can go back in Turtles in time, no pun intended, and pre-Christian now, because you're reading these for the first time. Krang's gone, Shredder's gone. Is Karai going to be the main character? Did you think that, I guess I'm going to make my prediction. I'm going to say it's somebody bigger than Karai. I'm going on a limb here. I feel Karai will have a little bit of a spotlight, but there's got to be something bigger than her. So did you feel Karai was going to be the center of attention for the bad guys now, or was there somebody else that you were trying to pull for with, these later issues?
Well, I would say like, okay, the big bad guys, as you said, Shredder and Krang, they're now out of the picture. But we still got so many others out there. We've got, as you said, Karai, Bishop. The Pantheon is also there in the background, yes, scheming and doing who knows what. That's going to be very interesting. And yeah, others, I mean, just Leatherhead is there. And
So we got Baxter,
yeah,
right? We
and
can't throw out Baxter. I almost forgot him.
Baxter, oh, of course. You cannot forget Baxter is also. So we still got a big rogues gallery there to fill this place. And so yeah, but hey, by now you should know you don't know what to expect. You cannot say, I totally know where this is going because they always put in the twists. And just gotta go along with the ride. Just stay along, and we're gonna find out where this is going, and I don't think we're gonna be disappointed.
And I will say this too. This is an opportunity, I don't want to say of a lifetime, but for the Turtle franchise. Because again, guys, if you've checked out previous episodes of Shellonomics or Christian's podcast, a lot of these books, they never had the potential to actually write the ending they wanted to. Peter Laird's never finished. Archie's really never got a true ending. The Mirage Image never got a true, kind of finale. So, I want to add, like, you can't pull the plug here, but would it have been a safe bet? And I'm going to say if they wanted to, like, with Krang being gone, I'd probably need at least one more book to find out where Karai is going. But, like, I'm curious, like, how they do this to keep this still fresh. Like we say we're a big wrestling fan. I'll bring up that analogy real quick before we get into the finals with Ghostbusters and Turtles. It's hard to write a show every week. And it's got to be hard to keep the flavor in this book, week after or month after month, because these were popping out monthly. Christian, is that right? Most of the time for this IDW series, one a month.
Yeah. The main series was monthly, and we got the side stories with Universe and the miniseries and so on and so forth. So yeah, they kept this their story going is each month.
Again, I'm pretty sure you're gonna say, of course, you want to keep it going. But was there a spot you felt like if the story ended, you would have been satisfied? It's a good question because
yeah. To be honest here, if issue number 150 would have been the last, because that was that's the last issue before it restarted with issue number 1. If that would have been the end, I would have been really satisfied, because it really felt like an ending. It really felt like a book ending for the first volume.
Okay.
But if it's like, okay, we're ending the series here, I would have been like, okay, thank you for this story. Thank you that you took me along for this trip. And it was a real journey, and I'm really glad that I was there. And I would have not been angry or anything. I would have been satisfied with issue number 150. I'm happy. I'm happy that they're still going and they're doing great stuff now. But if it would have been like, okay, this is it, dudes, I would be like, I'm fine with that. Yeah. It's not like every story, every little character got its ending. It's not like every story really had a big conclusion, but the main story, it would have been over, and I think I would have been totally fine with it.
All right, dude. Well, we've got a little breather, so if you guys want a bigger digestion of TMNT Ghostbusters, you can check out a previous episode. But like Christian says, it's just fair for the listeners and for us too as well to get refreshed. Feel free to break down this crossover one more time in a little bit of a Cliff Notes edition here, because again, there are some parts that do trigger the main story, like you say.
Yeah, as I said, we've put the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ghostbusters number 2 crossover. We already talked about that in depth, but as it is canon, we gotta mention it here. Because this story takes place now when the Turtles, they teleport back from Dimension X, and as they get teleported back, they get attacked by the ghost of Darius Dunn, who wants revenge because he was killed by Splinter, and he teamed up with the ghosts called the Collectors. So the Turtles come to the Ghostbusters universe for their help. And Donatello and Egan, they team up to work on a weapon to fight the bad guys, while the other Turtles and the Ghostbusters team up and jump through different worlds to keep the bad guys distracted. And after even meeting their mother, Tang Shen, in the afterlife, the Turtles and the Ghostbusters use their newest ghost fighting weapons to defeat Darius Dunn and the Collectors, and the Turtles can go back to their own world. And yeah, that's the end of the TMNT Ghostbusters crossover, the second crossover, and well, for now, unfortunately, the final crossover. But you know, you never know what the future will bring. But yeah, once again, really enjoyable miniseries.
Yeah, there's tons of Easter eggs we talked about in there too, like the arcades popping up. Really, really well done. Again, just phenomenal. So, dude, another 2 down. We've got hopefully another, pretty much all of March of 2026 is going to be nothing but TMNT IDW. I'm doing my best to hang with my emotions. I know you can hang. You've been prepared. You're conditioned. You're like the dude who's been, lifting in the gym, pumping his Ninja Turtle weights, because this is so much emotion for me and excitement because it's the first time, and I'm appreciating you being there with me for the ride. So, final takeaways from book 10.
Well, first off, I gotta say, I also really enjoy this journey, like taking this journey here with you through these books, because yeah, I've read them all before and I remember like the main plot points and everything, but to go through the story, like refreshing my mind, oh yeah, that happened in this book and so on and so forth. It's really, as you say, they really have great reread value, and I cannot recommend these comics enough. So with issue number 10, dude, the main part was the whole Dimension X story with Krang. And that was such an entertaining story with so many characters coming back and so many little Easter eggs and cameos. And well, the ending was a shocker, definitely, that I did not expect. And yeah, that was for me was the main the heart of issue number 10, of book number 10. So yeah, that's it was a great ride once again.
Probably the most fun you'll have. I do have one question for you fans before we we direct you to where you can find some other amazing turtle stuff. If anybody is listening to this on Shellonomics, on Spotify or YouTube, me and Christian both want to know, do you feel Raphael would be a Chewbacca? Yes or no in the comments down below. But if you guys want some more Ninja Turtle amazing podcasts with the new stuff that's been popping, Casey Jones, Shredder, Godzilla, all these people are in the Turtleverse. Christian, where can I find you talking about more turtles?
Well, if you want to hear more of me talking turtles, you can check out my podcast, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Talk, where you can find on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Or I recommend check out the website tmnttalk.com, where you can find all the newest episodes and all the social media stuff. And yeah, like Facebook, Instagram, and the Discord, where every TMNT fan is definitely welcome. So yeah, check it out. Come on over.
We have a lot of fun in Christian's Discord too, guys. I mean, we randomly even send posts that we forget about, like the cat in Sky Turtles, just a random cat flying up in the air. And we're like, yeah, that's why we love the old Turtles. It's just Adam West Batman. It's just so fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right, my dude. Well, until next time, my friend, thank you as always, TMNT Talk.
Oh, I thank you for always having me on. It's always a blast.